what's up you guys, this is Rock from Gay Guy Plays, and today on The Snapshot, we're going to be taking a look at what could potentially be the most powerful arc gun for ground combat in-game, the Larkspur. Now, you can pick up the Larkspur's blueprints in the Tenno Lab of your clan dojo after you've completed the appropriate research. Just do be aware it does require Mastery Rank 8 to craft. Now, if you don't have a clan, or your clan is absolutely dead, and you have no friends to play with, but you really want to get your hands on this ASAP, you can always pick it up in the market pre-built along with the weapon slot and catalyst for 125 plat. However, if you are rolling in all of that metallic currency and you want to get your hands on a nice bundle of some of the newest things, we do have the Hildren collection that is available for 575, but I'm gonna let you peruse all of the items that are included in that in your own time. Alright, now before we jump in, I did want to make note for anybody that's a little bit newer and has absolutely no clue how to use an Archwing gun for ground combat, there's actually a component that you can add in order to do that. So as you can see right here, we are in the modifications menu. I'm going to go ahead and hit the actions button, and right there it is, the Gravamen. Now initially you're going to be getting your first Gravamen from the Profit Taker heist. There is a specific bounty that you'll actually be grabbing one, and then you'll get your first one there. After you get that initial one, you'll need to go ahead and replicate the blueprints in the Tenno Lab of your clan dojo. However, you can always pick it up in the market for 20 plat. After that, you go ahead and install it in, and then what you're going to need to do is go into your gear slot and make sure you slot in an arc gun deployer. Now, the interesting thing about Archwing guns being used for ground combat is there is a limited amount of ammo for each of the Archwing guns. Once that Archwing gun is completely depleted of the ammo, you're going to have a 5-minute cooldown timer in order to be able to use the arc gun deployer again. Now, in heists, there are going to be some enemies that carry heavy weapons that will drop heavy weapon ammo and will actually reset this timer, so you'll be able to go ahead and replenish that ammo, but nowhere else in game outside of Fortuna do we currently have other enemies that are carrying heavy weapons to be able to do that for you. So just keep that in mind when we're talking about the use of this specific Archwing gun in ground combat. Okay, so for those of you guys who have never heard about the Larkspur before, it actually has two different modes of fire that you can toggle between using the alt fire button. The first one is a held beam that will actually chain onto different targets. Really, really cool. It's got a high status chance sitting at 50%. Then you could actually bump up very easily to 100%. So you can like shred armor, you can proc tons of gas. It's just freaking awesome. And it's actually the main mode of fire that I'm going to be focusing on today. The second mode is a charge version, which just emits this massive orb that will just knock enemies back. It has a higher crit chance sitting at 26% instead of the original 10 for the held version, but it's got a lower status chance at only 34%. Me personally, this thing's got a little bit more recoil than I personally like to use, but if you need to clear a point, that's definitely going to be a way to go. So let me go ahead, get this all equipped, and let's take a look at how it plays in the actual game. Now, one of the things that I did want to make mention, let's just do one Corrupted Bombard for now, because I was doing a little bit of testing, so that's residual from that. Little Billy be our little control test dummy right here. So, in Hildren's hands, the Larkspur actually gains bonus ammo, so you'll be able to use it for a longer period of time. Like I said earlier, when you deplete the ammo of an arc gun, then it ends up going on a reset. So in Hildren's hands, it's 800 ammo, and in anybody else's hands, it's 500 ammo. So let's go ahead and go here and take a look. Take a look at the shred on this thing. Oh, the armor is gone, and we are just eradicated. And you have to remember, right now I'm just showing it to you on a single target. This beam can bounce onto multiple targets. I just want to give you an example of how it works. Now, when I was testing it a little bit earlier, this thing does have a 40-meter range. It's the second closest. I know the Quanta has one, but as you can see right here, we're hitting him from pretty damn far away, but he's still taking damage, right? And there goes his armor yet again. So it's feeling quite sexy. Look at that. Oh, here we go. All right. So the chain itself will actually chain up to enemies 10 meters away. So it'll hit one enemy, it'll chain to another one within 10 meters, and then it'll chain from that enemy to another enemy within 10 meters. To be completely honest with you, it looks like it's got like a max of 6, but I think it might just be like luck of the draw. It might just be a little bit of RNG. So let's go ahead and boost up our corrupted Billies all the way up to 8 so that you can see this in its full action. So right here, I'm gonna hit from this side, and as you can see, it's getting a good chunk of them, and it's doing some nice chaining. And as you can see, jumping and weakening enemies left, right, and center. Enemies are going down, they're attacking each other. This is why I'm saying this is one of the few Archwing guns that I'm like, you might actually want to pay attention to this one and use this one for like actual ground combat, especially when you need to clear out enemies. This can be a great like anti-area of effect, where there's like so many, and well, I guess not anti-area of effect, but like, you know, taking out a large group of enemies in an area of effect. So I've shown you how this kind of works on that group of enemies. I am going to pause the AI real quick so we can take a look at the secondary ability. So as you can see right here, I am swapping over using the alt fire. I'm going to go ahead and aim at this side. So as you can see right here, let me mark this target. That is approximately 8 or 9 meters away from this target. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and charge. Now, if you charge and you don't go all the way, you get nothing. You got to charge it all the way up, and then you release, and boom. That gets enemies from up to like about 10 meters away. I'm going to say 10 meters because who knows? I'm just rounding up to 10. It could have been 9. It could be 8. But it's around that. Let me go ahead and kill the enemies. Let's do that again. And let me go ahead and just aim at this one over here. Boom. All out of the way. So if you need to clear out an enemy or an area, you can go ahead and swap into the charge variation, and that will allow you to clear out the area. But me personally, like I was saying, I'm actually a big fan of the beam version, because the beam version just does so much better at clearing things out. So let me show you this real quick so we can take a look at the max ammo. You guys can take a look at this. As you can see, it is hold on, we gotta swap. We're gonna swap into Hydroid real quick so you can see how this works, because it kind of resets everything. So as you can see, when we're using Hydroid, it's only got 500 in total, 100 in the clip and then 400 in the reserve. But if we jump back on over into Hildren mode, as you can see right here, let's go ahead and reactivate that. It's got 700 in reserve plus the additional 100 in the clip, making it 800. So that is kind of like a bonus feature that this weapon comes with when we got like a little Zarya action going on, as you can see right here. So let's take a look at the build. And I always get kind of wonked out on this one because it's in a different area. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade this, and this is what I'm currently using right now. So for those of you guys who are unfamiliar with Archgun mods, we have Rubidoline Barrel for bonus damage, we have dual rounds for more multi-shots, which in my head I'm kind of thinking, I was like, maybe we can just go with an additional element. Again, the modding is a little bit looser here when it comes down to that, and I think I might change that to an additional element. But as you can see, we also have automatic trigger for fire rate. Again, you could just make that another element if you want to. It's a little bit loosey-goosey when it comes to a lot of these mods, but we have Sabbat rounds, which is damage and punch through. Then we have Venomous Clip, and this is the interesting thing that you will find, and why I'm saying maybe we should add in more elements, is that the elements here, while in other variations they only add in like 90% base damage, this actually adds in 120%. So if you're looking for adding an additional punch, definitely go ahead and toss in a little bit of what we like to call back in the day a rainbow build, which is every element you have. But as you can see right here, I am focusing more on corrosive and radiation to be able to take down enemy armor. And these last two here are the status elementals. You only need 2 of these in order to push it up to the 100% mark. Now, what I think is kind of cool is you can actually go ahead and swap this over into a more, what is it called? Into a more like anti-corpus mode by adding in all of adding in gas. So you can have a shit ton of gas and just Just realized what that sounded like. But you can put a lot of gas into this weapon, and then you could just be proccing gas 100% of the time, and that on corpus enemies, as you can see right here. Let's just make it happen. When it comes to corpus enemies, will take them down very, very quickly. I'm trying to find the right ones. You guys know I'm so bad at like navigating menus. All right, so let's do this real quick. And let's show off how that works, and then I'm going to show you like some modifications that you can make and play around with. Again, I'm a little bit loosey-goosey with Archgun modifications, mainly because of the fact that they're like Archgun modifications, and like who really cares. But this could actually be something that you can play along with, you know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Are there any like super tough? Maybe not even those ones. Hold on, let's find crewman. Corpus techs are a little bit beefier, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do that. Let's simulate that. I usually don't test on the corpus troops because you don't really need to all the time. They're not usually the toughest faction that you need to worry about, but I wanted to show this in action. Why is that so like? Look at how crazy that is. Just look at those poor men. This is looking like, you know, this is looking like the end bit of the current event that we've got going on. Is this deck 12? Is this deck 12 we're approaching? Jesus. But as you can see right there, it's kind of cool because I usually don't think about using arc guns in this way, but it's almost like an added like weapon slot that you can have in occasionally if you do really just want to clear out an area. Now, one of the things that I will make note of, and this is I think a mod that might seem a little bit useless, but I think for normal gameplay, like not for like fighting level 165s, you can actually maybe consider dropping sabot rounds and go ahead and put in something like ammo chain, because what happens with ammo chain, which is 100% ammo maximum, you'll actually get a pretty big boost to how much you can carry. So with this, I believe Hildren gets 1,199, which means that she's able to, you know, basically use the Larkspur for twice the amount of time that she could previous to that. And then, you know, for other characters, they'd have 899. Let me make sure that I'm saying that right? Because I don't know if I was counting reserve, but I'm pretty sure I was counting reserve. Yeah, so 1,199 maximum ammo for this thing. So if you want to be able to use this for a little bit longer, you can go ahead and use ammo chain to kind of extend the duration that you can use all of that on, and you can have some of this craziness, some of this ridiculosity, because again, remember, this is level 165 enemies. If you literally just wanted to take this in order to clear out some Syndicate exterminates so that you don't have to, like, you know, really sit there through Syndicate missions or just whatever comes up on the Night Wave that you need to clear out, and you're like, I just don't want to deal with all of these enemies, this is going to be a great freaking addition and a nice way to kind of spice everything up. Now, right now, I'm going to be honest with you, these are probably going to be the builds that I'm going to end up running with. However, if you guys feel like you wanted to go ahead and play around, leave your feelings down in the comments below as to what you might swap out. Are you going to do a full rainbow build on this and say, you know what, fuck it, we're just going to put all of the 120% thing mods in there. We don't need dual rounds. We don't need automatic trigger. That's just wasting our, you know, that's just wasting our extra ammo. Let's just pump this full of elements. Go ahead and leave your feelings about that down below. Actually, you know what? Let's just give it a quick shot. While we're here, I don't see why not, and then we could just go ahead and close that out and see exactly how it feels, because we like to do things live, you know? Let's do some charged bullets action. Let's do some contamination casing. After that, let's go ahead and toss in the big mods, which is the elemental ones. Oh my god, where's Venomous Clip? And another one's a dash, which is the electrified barrel. And then we could go ahead and toss in the other elements, which are, I don't even know what the other elements are. This is how bad it is. Magma Changer, we don't need the status. Polar Magazine, there you go, we got one of those. And then I don't know. I'd still think that maybe I would toss in sabot rounds if that was the case. We get rid of ammo chain. Let's do sabot rounds. And then let's finish it off with, what's the last one? Elemental, cold, ice, fire. Fire. We literally just had it. Combustion rounds. Boom. Just rainbow build this baby to all hell. And let's see how this thing performs on a bunch of, what is it called? A bunch of bombards. Let's do that real quick. And then after that, we can go ahead and call this a night. Because this is going to have some control with it too. Actually, listen. No, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. I was going to get crazy with it and see how far we could take it. But I think you guys get the point. Alright. Let's see how this works out. So, see, the thing is, the reason that I usually don't do things like this is because I don't like knockdowns. But it does seem to be proving itself quite effective at CCing. So, hey, listen, if you want to run a CC build, just keeping all of these enemies down at once and stripping them of their armor, here's a way for you to do it. Mix up your everyday, start using your arc guns for your normal missions, get in there, grab yourself a Gravamag, and have a great rest of your day. So I think that is going to do it for this. I think that the Larkspur is going to change the game on a lot of these. I'm just kind of crossing my fingers that DE kind of knocks down the reuse time. But then again, we did just see the Larkspur absolutely massacre a bunch of enemies. So maybe it's better that we don't have a faster cast on it. I don't know. I'd like to see it at least knocked down to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's just me. But that does about do it for me for now. So as always, leave all of your feelings down in the comments below. And love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your Larkspur. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!